You guys, we got an email from the Nerd Zone. Nerd Zone, a longtime watcher of the show. Nerd Zone, thank you so much for being part of the show and for giving us things to talk about. It really helps. I love it. I absolutely love it. So thanks for being here. Much appreciated. Nerd Zone sent me an email the other day, and he says, MCU announcements. So many MCU announcements. Eternals first look. Captain Marvel 2, The Marvels. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So many announcements. Yeah. You guys, this was the kind of thing that was so epic. It seemingly kind of came out of the blue. And this whole thing just rocked everybody's world. Marvel put out a trailer. I guess you could call it a trailer. I don't like an advertisement, an extended trailer advertising like their Phase 4 slate, maybe half of their Phase 4 slate. Who knows? Like I don't know. I don't know how big Phase 4 is going to be. But here's the thing, you guys. Like, wow. They let's just run through this for a second, shall we? Black Widow coming out in 2 months. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings coming out in September of this year. The Eternals coming out November 5th of this year. And then with Eternals, we get our first look at like, what is this going to look like? What is it going to feel like? Like, what's the tone here? I think especially after Chloe Zhao won the Oscar for Best Director and Best Picture. If you've seen Nomadland was a beautiful movie. So we're all kind of looking at this and being like, what is this going to look like? Like, we know she's using natural light. She's not doing like traditional Marvel cinematography. So what is this thing going to look like? And here we go. Here's our first official looks at the film, at the movie. This looks pretty awesome. I mean, like, again, we have no context. We'll jump in more to Eternals in a minute, but let's get back to the MCU. In a grander scheme, Spider-Man: No Way Home coming out. This is four Marvel movies coming out this year alone. Guys, we're already in May. And no Marvel movies have come out this year. We've had two shows. Already, and we just got news today. We didn't really talk about this. We just got news today that the Loki show is being bumped up by a few weeks. So that's now coming out in June, right? Or earlier in June, I suppose. So yeah, we're gonna have 3 Marvel shows on Disney Plus coming out. That's so cool. So we're going to get 4 movies essentially in the span of 6 months. July, August, September. Am I doing that right? July, August, September, October, November, December. In 6 months, we're getting 4 movies. 4 Marvel movies. That's never happened before. If you guys can hear a high-pitched whining sound, that is my super in my building is vacuuming the hallway. So if you can hear a high-pitched humming sound, that's what it is. My apologies for that. All right, let's jump back into this, shall we? Eternals, Spider-Man, No Way Home this year. Next year, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, March 25th. May 6th, Thor, Love and Thunder. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, which is a great title. We'll come back to this in a second. The Marvels, November 11th. Again, you guys, that's 4 movies in 1 year. We knew a few years ago, Kevin Feige made some kind of an announcement saying like, okay, we're currently doing 1 Marvel movie a year. We're going to start doing 2 Marvel movies a year. Pretty soon, we're going to bump it up to 3, but our hope is to be able to do 4 MCU movies a year. And we're all sitting back here like, hang on. What? What? You guys, they're doing it. They're doing it this year. It's happening. 4 Marvel movies in a year. I lost my place. Where are we? Then we go to 2023. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 5, and they finish it off. There's no release date for this film yet, but Fantastic Four. Most likely in 2023. Probably, I would venture a guess and say November 2023. That would be my guess. So what do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 movies, you guys. 11 movies. There's so much to unpack here. With Black Widow, okay, that's coming out in 2 months. We've seen all the trailers that there are to see about it. No surprises there. We've had one trailer for Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Tang Rings? However I'm pronouncing things today. Trailer looked great. Can't wait for more trailers. Very much looking forward to seeing more of this movie, how it ties into Iron Man 1, Iron Man 3, the Ben Kingsley short, All Hail the King, and many other things there, right? Looking forward to all of it. The Eternals. I think it's safe to say that we might collectively, as nerddom, be looking forward to Eternals the most. We have no idea what this is. Again, are there people who read the Eternals comics? Yes, of course there are. Plenty of people know who the Eternals are. But when you look at the general movie-going audience, I consider myself a nerd. Look at all this stuff that I have behind me. I've got all my Avengers up top there. Like I'm a nerd. I'm a geek. I'm into my comics. I like all this stuff. Even I am not so engrossed in the world of comics and in geekdom that much. I don't know who the Eternals are. I know that their villains are the Deviants. I know that they've been around ever since the creation of the universe. They're the oldest beings in the universe. They have godlike powers. I mean, the long and the short of it is that the majority of people going to see this movie, the majority, not all, but the majority, have no idea who the Eternals are. There was a lot of people who didn't know who Guardians of the Galaxy were. Or a lot of people who didn't know who Guardians of the Galaxy were. But there are even less who know who the Eternals are. Anyway, we could dissect that for a little bit. Where do we go? Spider-Man, No Way Home. Again, we don't have any first looks for it. I mean, there have been a couple of set photos here and there. But there's plenty of time, you guys. There's plenty of time. We know that they've been filming in Queens. We know that they've been filming in Atlanta. I mean, it's gonna be awesome. It's Spider-Man. Where it goes from here, it's just gonna be great. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, we've been talking about forever, how it's going to tie into, or rather how WandaVision is going to tie into this movie. It's, they're directly referencing the multiverse, the directions, where it's going to go. When we do finally get a trailer for this, it's going to blow our minds. I feel like I'm more speechless about this right now than anything else. Thor, Love and Thunder. Again, we've been seeing set photos coming out of Australia. We know the Guardians are going to play a role, probably in the beginning portions. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, I think is a great title. Again, I have to go back to this. I will belabor this point. recast T'Challa. I mean, it's too late. They've already rewritten the script. Sorry, my hair is all sorts of wackadoo right now. I understand that they've already rewritten the script based on the tragic loss of Chadwick Boseman. This story is most likely going to celebrate T'Challa and his legacy, and by extension celebrate Chadwick Boseman and his legacy. And of course, it's probably most likely going to be all about the battle or the struggle of who becomes the next Black Panther. How's that? And it's maybe not about Black Panther, but it's about Wakanda. It's called Wakanda Forever. It's a great kind of legacy title. I think the imagery that it conjures is beautiful. I think a lot of people are going to, connect to it. So anyway, like there's a lot to unpack here, but I think it's a great title based on the situation that we're in. And again, I keep going back to the fact, just recast. Because the character of T'Challa is so important for so many different reasons. Then we have the Marvels, which, as you can tell by the font, you have Ms. Marvel. Look at the S there on the end. Ms. Marvel teaming up with Captain Marvel. I think this graphic alone gives us more information about what Captain Marvel 2 is going to be about, how the story is going to play out. Most likely going to be a buddy cop team up movie kind of thing. How it's going to play out. Again, we have no other details. We'll just kind of have to wait and see. Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. Surely I can't be the only person on the planet that hears Listomania whenever I hear the Ant-Man Listomania. Are you guys familiar with the song? Look it up. It's a great song. And Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, we know like the whole stuff going on there. And of course, Fantastic Four. There's very little to unpack about these last few. I'm excited for this trailer. For the slate. Sorry, I'm excited for the slate. The trailer that Marvel dropped, like the 3-minute extended kind of announcement thing with all of their projects and everything. I got choked up. I got so choked up right in the middle. It was beautiful. Oh, you guys, it was glorious. It was just glorious. I'm excited. I remember, DC Fandom. That was back in August, right? I remember back in August when we were doing this show, one of the viewers of the show reached out to me and he said something along the line, Redacted 83. It was Redacted 83 reached out to me and he said, hey, we've had all this news from DC about their upcoming slate, about Black Adam, about all the future of the DC, like the Flash film was introduced. They talked about the Green Lantern core television show that they're coming out with on HBO Max. Like, there was so many DC rich things. We've got a first look at Suicide Squad. There was so much that they announced and dropped, right? And then Redacted 83 reached out to me and he said, that's cool, but when is Marvel going to start making their announcements? Like, we heard from DC, let's hear from Marvel. And I said, it's not a race. If you're watching Redacted 83, do you remember when I said this? Not quite a year ago. And I was like, it's not a race. DC and Marvel are not in competition with each other. Let's have each one have their moment in the spotlight, because if DC movies succeed, it's only going to help Marvel. If Marvel movies succeed, it's only going to help DC. And we've seen that be the case a lot, actually. And then slowly Marvel started making their big announcements, and now we have another big announcement from Marvel. So this just continues to reinforce, what I said back in August, is that it's okay. Let DC make their announcements. Marvel will continue to make their announcements when it's appropriate for them, when they're ready to make their announcements. And boy, oh boy, they made some pretty big ones just a couple of days ago. But like I said, you guys, I want to hear from you. What are your thoughts about all of this stuff? I mean, we barely even broke the surface. We barely even scratched the surface when it came to the Eternals, what the movie is going to be like, what it's going to look like. It's all speculation right now. It's all speculation right now. But again, like I said, I want to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts? Jump on down to the comment section below. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. If you like this video, click like. If you really like this video, click subscribe. And if you really, really like this video, click share. Because that is exactly what the golden idol from Raiders of the Lost Ark would want you to do. Whoosh, whoosh.